Academy of Art University Urban Nights update is next. Coming up,
Airbnb changes its policy after a Halloween shooting left 5 dead in Orinda. What the company says you'll no longer be allowed to do.
good news for coffee drinkers, the study that gives you another reason to reach for that extra cup of joe.
And an Academy of Art student athlete who's no stranger to injury has some advice for Warriors superstar Steph Curry, who's out with a broken hand. Plus a milestone at the box office. All that and more next on Urban Nights Update.
Hello, and thanks for joining us at the Academy of Art Urban Nights Update. Gabe Manitalk is sitting with me. I'm Alex Golombuski, and here's what's happening. Airbnb is changing its rental policy after a deadly Halloween shooting that killed 5 people in a house in Orinda. The company's CEO announced a ban on party rentals. The renter told the owner her family needed to escape the smoke from nearby wildfires, but hosted a large party instead. The shooting sent more than 100 people running from the house. Airbnb said there will also be a rapid response team to quickly take action when they get reports of unauthorized parties.
Investigation into the shooting continues. 4 people died that night. A 5th person died in the hospital. The next day, so far, no suspects are under arrest. Police have yet to disclose a motive for the attack. They say 2 guns were found on the property.
A war of words over the Twitter between President Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom. President Trump criticized the California Democrat for forest mismanagement. The president then threatened to cut off federal aid to the state, which has dealt with several wildfires in northern and southern California. Newsom shot back over social media, saying the president refuses to acknowledge the impact of climate change. A growing number of voters believe President Trump should be impeached. A Fox News poll found 49% of registered voters say he should be taken out of office. Mr. Trump fired back, saying, "You're reading the wrong polls. The president is accused of pressuring Ukraine into investigating his political rivals."
The numbers don't look good for the Golden State Warriors either. The team's record, 1-5, with star guard Steph Curry out for the next 3 months with a broken hand, add Draymond Green with a sprained finger, and it's challenging to start for the team. In fact, none of the starters in the last game were part of the starting 5 last season. It's a tough road coming back from injuries. Perhaps no one knows that better than injured athletes themselves. Selena Arjona Alcazar interviews an athlete who has some advice for Steph Curry.
Hello, here I am with Hava Turner, who is a track and field athlete for Academy of Art, and she's gonna talk us about how does she feel about her injury. She recently got a hip surgery, and hello Hava, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, how are you?
So, how did you got injured? How did you get this hip injury?
Well, as you said before, I'm a track and field athlete, so I'm a sprinter and I do a lot of hard, intense runnings every day. And one day at practice, I just realized that my leg didn't feel the same way as it usually does, and it was numb and kind of giving out. So after that, I decided that I probably should go to the doctor and see what was going on with it.
Well, so I understand that for athletes, it's really their biggest fear is to get injured. So how did you feel the first time that you found that you had to get surgery, knowing that recovery was going to be really long?
I think in regards to the whole surgery thing, I wasn't really nervous about it. The only thing that I was really nervous about was the body part, because your hip is a very important, it's your core, it's your stable part of your body. So when I found out that I had to get surgery, I wasn't really nervous about the process. I was just worried about if I was going to be okay or not afterwards. And I was informed that if I didn't get the surgery, later in my life at some point I would probably have to get a hip replacement if I didn't treat my problem then and there. So that was the only thing that kind of just pushed me to get it for sure, because I was kind of dragging it out for a while. So.
Yeah, and it's really hard being only 20 years old.
Yeah, I'm 20 years old.
Yeah, and that would be really difficult in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to be in a wheelchair with not being able to walk at the age of 40. So.
Or run your sport anymore.
Right. Yeah. True. I guess that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know that Stephen Curry is facing a new injury in his hand. Mm-hmm. So like related to you, what recommendation you would give to him being a pro athlete? What would you tell him right now?
I would just tell him to listen to his gut and what he thinks is best for him. I know that when I went through my injury, I had a lot of people in my ears telling me different things. And at the end of the day, you have to listen to the people that love you the most and have your best interests at heart, and really just yourself and know you. I mean, you know your body, you know what you can get yourself through. So just take it day by day and do the best you can, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for every athlete to go through something like that, and more when you're in season.
Yeah,
It's
for sure. Yeah,
probably the hardest part.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Well, thank you, Hava, for coming, and
No problem.
Back to you.
Recovering from an injury is not easy for athletes. Thanks, Elena and Hava, for the update.
Doping in athletic competitions has been a worldwide controversy. 23-time Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps took time from his third year of retirement from competitive swimming to speak out. He said he has not competed once in a clean field. Phelps adds that if you test positive once, you should never be allowed to compete again. 8 games, 8 wins. All the 49ers do right now is win. With 8 games remaining, a perfect 16-0 for the San Francisco 49ers is far from a certainty. The 49ers still have to travel to the same place where the Patriots had their record tainted in early December when they visit John Harbaugh's Ravens. There's still a long way to go, but the Niners look stronger than ever. Now, we're going to toss it to Rashad Williams with our sports segment.
Thank you, Alex, and welcome to the sports segment where we give you all the weekly updates and news. When you mention art school, no one thinks about sports, but Academy of Art University student athletes say otherwise. Academy of Art Athletics serves as the lone art institution in the entire NCAA. The Urban Knights are made up of 16 collegiate sports teams. The program was created in 2007 and made its competitive debut on August 29, 2008. Doing what they do best, the women's volleyball team beats Holy Names. Proving to be one of the winningest teams in the Pac-West Conference over the past 3 weeks, the Academy of Art volleyball team got ahead of Holy Names initially before finishing a 3-1 victory over the Hawks inside Taubman Gymnasium on Wednesday night. Junior middle blocker Carly Evans remained on fire, posting a team-high 14 kills while now hitting 370% or higher in each of her last 4 matches. Some early separations came from RU as HNU miscue plus Evans' first kill led to a 5-0 run, and though the Hawks came back within 1 point, the Urban Knights never relinquished their advantage. As play got underway, it was junior middlefielder Sydney Cook who first found the back of the net for RU. In the 25th minute, Cook intercepted a pass deep in the Sunbirds' back line, dribbling to the top of the penalty box and ripped a shot on the goal. The FPU keeper deflected it, but the momentum was not enough to stop the ball from crossing the goal line and put the Urban Knights up 1-0. Less than 10 minutes later, Wilson put RU ahead 2-0 with her 12th goal of the season and 18th of her career, which tied the RU career goals record. Hey RU fans, get your gear today. Go support your Urban Knights. You can get your gear at prepsportswear.com. As we sprint to the end of this segment, here are some words from our own Pac-West cross-country champion, Hasna Currer.
Yeah, because I didn't know where Zita was behind me, so I was scared that she will come like at the last seconds. So I was just pushing as hard as I could. And I was very surprised when I saw my time, like the 21:15, 21:16. I was very surprised, and I pushed us like harder and harder again. And I did my PR today. That was very surprising because yesterday when we had the speech from Grace, that was very like motivating. She said, "Who wanna do his or her PR tomorrow?" I just raised my hand. Because I know the race is very hard and like running fast here is like very tough. I think I'm in very good shape, as the coach said, because we did a very good workouts. And yeah, I was very surprised, but
Well, that's all we have for this week's sports segment. I'm Rashad Williams. Back to you.
Thanks, Rashad. Now, continuing on the sports theme, it's time for me to show you guys the proper way to swing a golf club. Hey guys, welcome to Golf Tips with Gabe. Today I'm going to teach you the proper mechanics of a golf swing. Our first step is the grip. So the proper way to hold it should look something like this. So in order to get to that, you want to make sure that the club is in a diagonal position in your left hand, and you just turn it over and make sure your thumb is right on top of the grip. And for the right hand, you want to make sure these two fingers are holding very tight. So you want the grip of the club in between these two lines here. You just go like that, and your pinky goes over the pointer, and you just cover it like that. So now that we got the grip, you want to learn the proper stance and how to approach the ball. So you want your 2 feet about shoulder width. You want a small amount of bend from your waist, and just a small knee bend, just to release the tension off your leg. Just like that. So now back to the basics. We have the grip and the stance. So now how do we hit this? So you want to start off with your arms. Imagine that there's a triangle. So you want to keep the triangle the first few feet of your swing. And from there, you just want to turn your chest up. And you want to keep this left arm straight as possible. And from there, you start with your hips, and then your hands should just follow all the way as it hits the ball. Then you post for your follow through. So now that you got the proper mechanics, the swing just changes depending on the club. So obviously in a golf bag there are 14 clubs, but not every club goes the same distance. So the shorter the club, the shorter the swing. So let me show you how that goes. Now that you got the proper mechanics, you obviously got to get the reps in on the range. But after that, once you master it, when you go out to the course, all you really want to think about is rhythm. You want to try to keep it as simple as possible. Golf is hard enough, trust me. But then once you go out to the course, you want to be as effortless and as simple as possible. So that's it guys. Tune in again next week as we learn even more about the golf swing and how to shape different shots on the course. Thank you. Remember guys, rhythm and timing is key. Let me know how it goes out there.
If you want to protect against Alzheimer's disease, the key may be to get a really good night of sleep. A study from Boston University shows that during deep sleep, your brain produces less blood and more of a brain fluid that washes away toxins, keeping your brain healthier than ever. Besides sleep, researchers also study lifestyle factors like diet, exercise, and brain health. New research shows that coffee not only keeps you awake, protect your brain from old age, and fight unhealthy fat, but it can also keep your body healthy with good bacteria in your gut. It is very odd, but it's true. Research at Baylor University studied 36 people that found those who drink a few cups of coffee a day had a better health in their gut. If you are craving an extra cup of joe, according to the study, don't be afraid to go with your gut.
If you hesitate going vegetarian because you don't want to say goodbye to your mama's delicious chicken curry, there is a compromise. It is called the flexitarian diet. It's flexible vegetarian. This diet consists of eating as much plant-based foods as possible. As nutritionists say, it reduces the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. But there's also room for up to 4 times of lean meat per week. Speaking of another diet, the gluten-free diet has been a trend that has gotten popular today. However, it is said sales of gluten-free products are decreasing. I look into the reasons why. The shift to a healthier diet has been going on for a while. One of them is the gluten-free diet. A lot of groceries and restaurants have made gluten-free products available, so that those who avoid gluten have choices as well. We were able to talk to Tommy Lau, who is on a gluten-free diet, to share his experiences with us.
I feel that as one gets older, or even when one is younger, that they should consider going on a gluten-free diet to be able to not get heavy and not gain weight, so that you could continue to be more mobile and more, especially if you're in athletics.
However, even though the products have been easier to find, the diet has gotten less popular in the last few years. According to the National Restaurant Association, 44% of chefs said that gluten-free was trending in 2018, while 61% said the same thing in 2016. To tell us more about this, we spoke to nutritionist Karen Koo.
The popularity of the gluten-free diet is nowhere near what it was maybe 10 years ago. More recently, it's the ketogenic diet, but I think in recent years, it's been it's kind of the trend du jour. Whether it's the ketogenic diet, there's the intermittent fasting, there's all of that. But who knows when this trend is going to, how long this trend is going to last, because it is a trend.
It is clear that this has become a trend not only for people who are allergic, but also for people who just want to be healthier. But take note, if you want to switch to this diet, make sure to consult a dietitian and your doctor first. In San Francisco, Gabriel Manichok for Urban Nights Update.
Being gluten-free is not always a choice. In some cases, it's a medical condition. Academy of Arts student Brooklyn Moreira shares what it's like living with gluten intolerance. So I understand that you are gluten-free.
I am.
So can you tell us a little bit how you got into that? What made you choose that?
Yeah, sure. So I became gluten-free and actually dairy-free over this summer because this past last year actually, I had the worst bowel system. Like, I would get sick, my immune system was terrible, like I would get a common cold and be out for 2 months. And it was like really bad and no one could figure it out. And then I finally went home, my mom's like, let's try to go to a nutritionist and see what's wrong. And we did, and now I am now gluten-free and dairy-free and taking all these supplements to try to figure out so I can be healthy again.
So you talked about going to a nutritionist. Was that difficult, like the whole process, having to figure that out?
Yeah, it was difficult because I actually went to 2 and they were telling me 2 different things and none of them actually knew. It took a lot of blood tests, allergy testing, and it seemed useless at the time until finally they're like, you're not allergic to it, you're just really intolerant to it, so just minimize it or just really keep it out. And now like when I eat gluten, it just doesn't do well, you could say. Yeah.
So having to eat a lot of stuff that's gluten-free, I'm sure that's very tough to find foods. Kind of explain that, like how is it going shopping or grocery shopping or?
Yeah, over the summer it was kind of easier because I was with my parents, so they purchased all the foods. But now that I am by myself and I don't have a meal plan, so it is very difficult. And going to Trader Joe's and being like, oh, I really want this, and all my roommates are purchasing like all these good foods that you could say like are unhealthy, but I want them, and then I check, oh, it has wheat, I can't buy it. So, and then the prices are different, obviously. So it's just like, it seems like bad, but it's actually really good for me. So just gotta go with it.
So price-wise, is it more expensive? Is it cheaper?
So it's more expensive by like $2, but that does add up when you literally purchase everything that's gluten-free. So yeah, it sucks. And being a college student, that also sucks. So yeah.
So, okay, how about this? Does it taste different at all?
Yeah, it's a little more bland, you could say, but if you just add like seasonings with it, like garlic salt or like pepper, it honestly tastes the same. I've only had like one thing that tasted different and I was like, oh, this sucks. But other than that, no.
So if you had one go-to meal, gluten-free, what is it?
Oh, I don't even know. Honestly, stick to my original, just chicken with like sweet potatoes on the side and vegetables. That's my go-to meal, yeah.
That sounds amazing. Well, Brooklyn, thanks for coming in today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Potatoes can easily be made gluten-free, and they're becoming more popular in Mexican cooking. I took a look at this trend. Here in San Francisco, there has been a recent interest in having potatoes in their Mexican dishes. Restaurants have been adding French fries and tater tots to some of their dishes to give it their own twist. But what's so great about this addition? The question everyone is wondering, do people like it or is it overrated? A local restaurant called Taqueria has been famous for adding tater tots to some of their dishes. Many other restaurants have joined this trend and added fries to make their own unique twist. Let's ask the general manager for Taqueria, Jay, what made him come up with this idea.
Yeah, it was almost by accident. We wanted to do a California burrito. Traditionally, a California burrito has the French fries. But we also, like, the California burritos we had, we noticed they get soggy. So we were at the store one day, we said, let's try some tater tots. Threw some tots in there, it had the crunch that we needed. After that, it was little golden nuggets.
Now that we've heard from someone who has everyone coming back for more for their food, let's hear from actual people who have tried these dishes.
You know, I really think the French fries complement everything else. You know, you kind of get like a little medley of flavors going on. Got the salsa working nice with the fries. I feel like it works better than chips, to be honest. Fries don't get as soggy, you know. You just use a fork. You can't use a fork with nachos.
So I enjoy the potatoes more than I would enjoy the nachos, really. Like in taqueria, they put tater tots in all their dishes, and I think Mexican food is taking a turn for the better with potatoes for sure.
You will be surprised on how many different items could be added to your burritos or carne asada fries, even tacos. The options are endless, and I wouldn't be surprised if something else starts a new trend just like these potatoes. Here in San Francisco, Alex Golombuski for your Urban Nights update. Look for this potato trend in other Mexican restaurants.
National Park Service is proposing new rules for dog owners in the Bay Area. According to the measures, dogs cannot be unleashed anymore in parks around San Francisco, San Mateo, and Marin counties. Those who don't follow these rules would face a fine. The Park Service, the rules changes do not require public hearing, but dog owners who oppose the new rules say they may sue to keep the changes from happening. Horseback riding comes back to San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. City's Parks and Rec Department announced that Chaparral Ranch will be the first horseback riding concession in the park since 2001. The riding program will return for 6 months, then it may be extended. The ranch will offer trial rides and lessons for $40 to $80 with children's pony rides at $15. San Francisco is well known for many fun places to visit, but Dolores Park is a popular place where residents and tourists hang out. The area has changed in the past few years. Matt Sanchez shows us how.
Over the years, Mission Dolores Park has been a popular hangout spot for young people in San Francisco. There used to be an issue with the park users leaving their trash behind. Recent efforts from the Park and Recreation Commission have led to a Clean Up Park campaign. Let's see what a few residents have to say about their thoughts.
All the time people do, because I think in general, like, people are regulars, so they like have a feel for what you're supposed to do here and what you're not supposed to do. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Like, I mean, usually in the past, at least when I used to come here more often, there would be like a lot of piles over. There's like some trash cans on that side end of the park, over by where like the train stops or whatever. And I mean, that would be like the only area I could really remember there being like a lot of trash. But even then, it's like pretty much looks like it's set there to be taken eventually, you know. So I mean, for how much it's getting used, like, it's not that bad. There's actually people that there's also certain people that go around specifically because people litter, and they collect cans in order to like get money back. And so those people are actually really helpful in keeping the place clean, which is honestly very appreciated.
Cool. Dolores Park is a very beautiful place to be on the weekends with your family and friends, but who knows, it might not be that way due to all the trash buildup.
I moved here about 3.5 years ago, and when I first got here, I would come to this park, and I didn't like coming here at first because there's just so much trash everywhere, and it was really hard just to sit down and enjoy yourself, because, you know, there'd be beer bottles, food, and it was just really uncomfortable being in this park. But over the years, they developed a new system where people actually volunteer and pick up trash, and it's really changed the park around. I like being here, I like hanging out with my friends, and make Dolores Park what it is today.
In San Francisco, I'm Matt Sanchez with your Urban Nights update.
If you are looking for a great place to hang out, go and visit Dolores Park on the weekend, but make sure to remember, pick up your trash.
Reviewers are giving the first critiques of the Apple AirPods Pro. Critics say they like the sound quality and range when you listen to songs and videos, but the audio on the phone was a bit grainy. The different touch modes took some time to learn. Lines have been out the door at Apple stores. The new AirPods Pro products are going for $249 retail. Apple's long-waiting streaming service has gone live. Apple TV Plus is $4.99 a month streaming service that will feature original films and shows created and funded by Apple. This service has been launched in every 100 countries and regions. It can be accessed through the pre-installed TV app on Apple devices, including the iPhone and the iPad as well as apps of various smart TV applications.
Kanye West is back. Kanye's new album, Jesus is King, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Kanye's gospel-inspired album was released on October 25th, and it's his 9th consecutive #1 album, tying him with Eminem. Kanye raps about God and his newfound faith. His interview behind the inspiration behind his album is on Apple Music. The Witcher is coming. Netflix reveals the release date of the new fantasy series via a trailer. The Witcher is based on the best-selling novels by Andrzej Sapkowski that also has been released as a video game. In this Netflix series, story focuses on the tale of Monster Hunter Henry Cavill stars as Geralt, who is the main character of this new series. This new fantasy series will be releasing on December 20th on Netflix.
The Joker is about to hit another huge box office milestone. This is the first R-rated movie to reach $900 million in global grosses. It's been 5 weeks after the first releasing, and the movie still continues to bring in money in theaters. This Todd Phillips directed and Joaquin Phoenix starring movie will pass $300 million in domestic gross, and flick has earned over $900 million worldwide. Urban Nights Update's Minjin Kim is ready to join us to give us a glimpse of this week's entertainment news.
Yes, it's now November, but before we pack away the pumpkins and candy, let's take one last look at the best Halloween costumes of 2019. Celebrities went all out on the big night. Los Angeles Lakers basketball star LeBron James turned into Edward Scissorhands with a unique twist. It's all in the details. Pop star Ariana Grande dressed up as a character from the 60s film Eye of the Beholder, who undergoes plastic surgery. The actress said she couldn't eat or breathe in the costume, but it looks like she had fun. We can't leave out Heidi Klum. The supermodel outdid herself again. She rocked the Halloween party as a gory, bloody alien with exposed brain, intestines, and muscles. She said it took about 12 hours to work her makeup magic, and she nailed it. Halloween continued into the next day for John Legend. He surprised his wife Chrissy Teigen by jumping on stage in a red onesie with his picture on it. He sang his song All of Me. It appears he forgot some of the lyrics, but that didn't matter to his wife. On the big screen, a wartime movie is opening on Veterans Day weekend. Midway tells the story of the Battle of Midway, a turning point in World War II. The movie was directed by Roland Emmerich, considered the king of disaster films. Battle scenes bring to life the clashes between the American fleet and Japanese Navy during World War II. The story begins with the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and it ends with the tough June 1942 Battle of Midway, which turned the tide of the war in favor of the Americans. Midway opens in theater on November 8th. That's all for entertainment. Back to you.
That's it for the Academy of Art Urban Nights update. For everyone here, thanks for joining. I'm Alex Golombuski.
And I'm Gabe Manitok. See you guys next time.